Hello and welcome to the Realistic Customizable Roads version 2.2.1 Quick Start video tutorial. I'm going to cover just some of the new features that have been added into Realistic Customizable Roads, and if you want to see a tutorial that starts from the very beginning, there's a series of these videos, and each time there's an update I make a new video. So please go back and watch the whole series and you'll be caught up to speed on how to use realistic customizable roads and get the most out of it. But for now, we're going to cover just the new features added in the latest update. I'm going to go ahead and start on a new level. I'll show this real quick just in case we have some users that aren't familiar with some of these basics. So let's go ahead and I'll show how to do this. It's easy enough. I'm going to go to File and create a new level. And by the way, I am working in Unreal Engine 4 today, 4.26, just because I am still supporting that. And we don't have to save this. And at the end of this tutorial, I'm going to take a look at some of the known issues with Unreal Engine 5, which I have reached out to Epic Games about. There is some buggy stuff with landscapes and splines. At the moment, I'm sure they'll get it fixed. And as I find out more, I'll be sure to let all of you know more. Alright, let's get started. We have a new level. And I'm going to go ahead and switch my mode to landscape. I'm going to go ahead and set 127 by 127 quads. That's fine. And we're on a world grid material. If this is blank, you can just click the drop down and search world grid material. That's it right there. It's just the basic default world material. Okay, and we'll go ahead and hit create. There it is. You might be wondering what these funny lines are in the landscape. It's just because the lighting needs to be rebuilt. We don't have to worry about that right now, and we shouldn't anyway because we're about to sculpt. So I've got we're currently still in landscaping, and I'm on sculpt. My tool strength is 0.3, my brush size is 2048, brush fall off is 0.5. I'm just going to go ahead and drag a couple of hills across here. That's fine. And we're going to demonstrate something. New feature. I'm going to go ahead and switch my mode back to select. I'm going to drag out under RC Roads. I'm going to go to Road Splines, and then arbitrarily I'll just choose any road. I'll go ahead and take this one here, 12 meter two-way dashed. Alright, I'm going to pull it up and then extend it out. And as I reach a steeper curvature than I'm over, I'm going to start making my spline points a little more densely packed here, a little closer together. I'm going to go ahead and jump that gap, and then good enough for tutorial purposes here. Okay. Through the magic of editing, I've jumped back for a second here. There's something I forgot to show, so I'm going to show it now. With the road selected, I want to make sure that my landscape is selected using the picker. On a surface/landscape, I'll use the picker to make sure that this particular landscape is selected, so it knows we're working with this one. Then I'm going to hit Conform Spline to Surface. It drops the road down onto the hills, matching the slopes as best as it can. It's not perfect. You can see we have some hill showing through the road. And I'm going to go ahead and lift the road back up a little bit until we don't have hill showing through road. Looks good both sides. Okay. Now I'm going to add in some dirt sloping under it, as would be done in the real world. They would have a gradient going on here around the road, particularly for drainage. So we'll go ahead and hit conform surface to spline. There we go. As you can see, that is it could be a little bit wider. That's why there is a adjustment for sculpt width and sculpt fall off. You can adjust this a little bigger, or just hit it again and again and bring it out a little bit. There we go. Nice and convenient. And now you see it's like they've come in here with the bulldozers and properly graded the road. Now we do still have some spaces where the hill is showing through the road, and it's just a matter of fine-tuning a little bit. I would grab a spline point here and bring them up a little bit, bring this one up, and just get it to where that's not showing anymore. And one more right here, bring it up a little, just a centimeter or more. There we go. Looks great. Okay, that's a new feature that'll help you get your roads across landscapes. And while we're here, I'll take the opportunity to show that ends, the static ends, are now able to be turned on and off. So here in the details panel, under end meshes, we have use end 1 mesh. There it is. And over here you will see we have use end 2 mesh. I'll turn that on, and there it is. And what about that we don't have dirt under it? Well, we'll go back to landscape mode, and we're still on sculpting here. I'm going to go to sculpt. I'm going to go to flatten actually. I'm going to bring my size down quite a bit, something I can work with. I'm going to go right about here and just flatten it out. We'll adjust in a minute. And right here, I'm going to bring this out. There we go. That one worked quite well. Now we have some dirt under the end meshes. And for this one here, I'll switch back to select the road, grab that end point there, just bring it up just a hair. There we go. Alright, and then we still have these funny shadows. That's just a matter of hitting build lighting, which I'll do now, and we'll use editing to fast forward through it, but here we go. Okay, you can see the funny shadows are gone, everything's looking proper. We're good to go. Let's look at the next feature. I'll fly over here, and we'll drag out another road. This one is fine. I'm going to pull it out, and this is, I'm going to select the middle spline point right here. I'm going to hit E to go to rotational axes and rotate. So now you can rotate the roads. If you're trying to build a inclined racetrack or something, that should help. It was a feature that wasn't in here before, but by request it's now in. Should be looking good there. Okay, let's take a look at the next new feature, which is bridge splines. Under the contents folder, under RC Roads, And then bridge splines. I will then go to the 28-meter bridges. There's more to come. I'm looking to add more. And then under blueprints, I can find the blueprints for the bridge splines. Let's get to an area where I've got room to work. You can already see some here in the demo level. Alright, so there's an end type 1 and a end type 2 here. I'm going to drag out a end type 1. Pull that up. You can see the columns or piles automatically generate as I go here. And it's a spline, so it just behaves like all the other splines. Okay, and then there's controls for these piles under spline and then piles. We can turn them on and off. We can choose to use a cap mesh or not. The cap mesh is up here. You see it's a cap with a structural padding there for sway. But we can turn it off and just have the column go straight up. The base, we can also turn the basis on and off. Just have it column straight down. And then we can control the spacing as well. So right now the spacing is at 3000, and I turn that up to 4000 for example. There we go, and they're more spaced out. We can also choose to set where the first and last piles begin or end. So for example, if we didn't want these first ones here, we could go to the pile first cutoff, set that to 1, and then they will not start until the second one. Or if we set that to first cutoff to 2, then they wouldn't start until the third one, and it's the same for the last cutoff as well. Set that back to 0. Alright. In addition, you can actually add your own caps, middle column meshes, base meshes here. Whatever you want to put in here, you certainly can. These are just the ones I've included for you. And the bridge splines also make use of the ends, the end meshes that you can now turn on or off. So we'll add end mesh 1, and this is end type 1. And we'll add, drag this out, end mesh 2. There we go. And I'll show you the other end type. There's also a different base type available, which is demonstrated on this one. You could add this base type to this bridge here. It's all interchangeable. And I'll drag these out. Oops, got these the wrong way. Hang on, sorry. Mixing up which spline went where. Okay, let's get a little closer. There it is. Got it. Dragging it out. And just to show you these ends. Different end type there. See, these are two types. This one would be more like the type you'd see going into an embankment. And then the splines, of course, are adjustable. You can raise them up, lower them, and it will take care of itself with the piles. What I would suggest, though, is that when you're at the end here, if you were to be, for example, lifting this spline point up or down, let's activate the end 2. There we go. If you were dramatically lifting this up or down, you could create tearing. I don't know if you can see that. You you can create tearing here. To avoid that, what you would want to do is have another spline point between the dramatic change in the slope and the end point. So this one kind of will keep this endpoint from tearing. That's a tip for you. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the known issues with Unreal Engine 5. This all works fine, of course, within Unreal Engine 5. There's just a couple little things that, like I said, I've reached out to Epic about, and hopefully it will be resolved soon. Let's take a look. Okay, so quickly, what I'm showing here on Unreal Engine 4 is that there's no issue with collision on a spline. The pawn is correctly colliding with the road, stepping on it all the way up as it rises. And then what I'm showing here is in Unreal Engine, this is 5.1. You'll see the pawn is not correctly colliding with the spline. Here there is a bad collision, and then suddenly it corrects. And the rest of the way up the slope, it's fine. Now with the car, this is just the default Unreal Engine car. You can see that there is no problem at all with the collision on the splines. It seems to be specific to the new Unreal Engine 5 human pawn. So anyway, I've got a hold of Epic, or I'm trying to get an answer from Epic. If you happen to know, leave a comment below, and maybe we can help get this thing fixed. Additionally, another thing I've noticed, this is the demo map, daytime demo map. It's been brought over into Unreal Engine, and this is Unreal 5.1. So when we try to use the landscaping features on the road, you'll see it works fine. I will demonstrate that real quick. Okay, I'll just drag out a arbitrary road here. Okay, I'll lift it up, and then under Details panel, under Landscaper, I will hit Conform Spline to Surface, and it's correctly working. Pull that back up a little bit, and then pick this landscape right here, and then go ahead and I'll set the sculpt width to 800, fall off to 900, and we should see when I hit Conform Surface to Spline, the surface moved up to meet the road. If I pull that up again even higher, it's even more pronounced. That's all working correctly. However, if I now go ahead and create another new landscape, let's go to landscape mode and manage, and I'll do new. We'll move it over here. And that's all fine. We'll just leave that at create. I'll make a quick hill. Bring a road out. Okay, and then I'll pick this landscape, and then I'll hit Conform Spline to Surface. That works. but I'll bring the road back up now, and we'll try to use the conform surface to spline. I'll set this to 700 and 800. Bring it up nice and high so we can really see it. I'll hit conform surface to spline and nothing. So again, something going on there, and I've reached out to Epic Games, and I will let you know more as I know more. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I just wanted to make sure you knew that I was aware of these particular bugs with Unreal Engine 5, and as answers come through, I will go ahead and, of course, relay that information to you guys and get some updates accordingly. So thanks for watching, and thanks for being a customer, as always. I hope you have a great one. Take care.